Hello vegans, I'm Tobias from Athlegan and we help regular people get strong and fit on a plant-based diet. As we are seeing the pandemic restrictions being eased up all over the world, many of our clients are going back to the gym now, and for that reason I wanted to share with you 3 tips that you can implement right away in the gym to help take your lifting to the new level and help you get stronger and fitter. Tip number 1 is to keep a tight core, and this is essential for every lift, and we do this to make the lift more efficient and to make it more safe. So Mickey here is going to show us how we do the deadlift when we disregard this tip. So go ahead and show them. So we start here. We have a back that's terribly rounded and he's going to pull with that. Luckily this is very light for Mickey, otherwise he would risk injury with this circle of a back. So if Mickey stands up, what I want him to do instead is to picture me punching him in the stomach, right? That's how you tense up. So you want your ribs coming down, you suck in some air, you tense up as if I were gonna punch him in the stomach. He keeps that in mind when he goes down, grabs the bar and does another rep. In this setup now, he tenses his core, lifts his chest up, and you can see that his back is looking much better coming up. There we go. Much more efficient lift, much safer lift, and everyone is happy. Tip number 2 is to keep a straight bar path. So the fastest path between 2 points is a straight line. And that's exactly how we want the bar to travel. If we, for some reason, move the bar more in a zigzag pattern or like a circular pattern, we are wasting a lot of effort that could be put into moving more weight in a straight path. So Mickey's going to show here 1 repetition of how not to do it, where we can see that the bar is traveling outwards as he lifts it up. So go ahead. And come down outside. So that's not how we want to do it. Instead, if you have a look at the bar now, and Mickey's going to set up again, and you look at the end point of the bar right here as it travels up. Mickey, come up. And we go down. There you go. So this might not sound very actionable, but by giving these simple cues that you can keep in your mind when you do your next lift, whether that's the deadlift, it's the squat, the press, whatever, if you think about keeping a straight bar path, your body will work out the details and you will lift much better. So, 3rd and final tip is to keep the bar over the middle of your foot, where you have your center of balance. The further away from yourself that you put the bar, the more effort you have to waste into just keeping the bar there. So if you have it perfectly over the middle of your foot, you can put all of your strength into just lifting the bar. And we do this by nailing the setup. So Mickey here is going to step up to the bar. What he wants to see here is that the bar is covering his shoelaces. Then he knows that it's perfectly over the middle of his foot. Now, soon he's going to reach down and grab the bar. It's very important now, because the bar is positioned exactly where we want it. It's important that he does not move it by moving his knees forward. So he's going to bend over and grab the bar. The bar stays in place. Now, we go back to tip number 2. He wants to pull the bar in a straight line. And tip number 1, he wants to keep a tight core. So he lifts up his chest and pulls the bar up. Perfect. There we stop there. Again, the bar has traveled in a straight path. It is still now over the middle of his foot, so he's perfectly balanced. And we're coming down. There we go. So, tip number 1, to keep a tight core. Tip number 2, let the bar travel in a straight path. And tip number 3, keep it over your midfoot. We have used the deadlift to illustrate these points, but these are universal rules that you can use for pretty much any lift. The squat, the press, not the bench press perhaps, but any other lift. So keep those in mind as you go in and think if there's any one of these 3 that you violate. If you fix this, your lift is going to be much better.